Hey everyone, my name is Chris and I am the project lead for Azorus, the blockchain analytics and intelligence platform. This product allows our customers to query, explore, visualize, analyze, and share on-chain and off-chain data insights. So in this video, we'll do a walkthrough on how to explore and visualize blockchain data and statistics. A couple of quick housekeeping items, right? The first one is still an alpha version, so there will be bugs. It's not completely polished, not even the correct branding, to be honest. Number two, this is not a SQL course, which we'll definitely do in the future. And then number three, it's not a course on the different database structures that we have onboarded, which we'll also include in a future video. Cool. So with that out of the way, I think in terms of exploring and visualizing data, there are two separate paths. The first one is looking at it from a raw query that we used from the Azorus SQL editor. The second one is from an existing data set from a query that someone has already created. So we'll do both of them today in this video. So to start, if you remember in a previous video, we pulled up the timestamp, block height, and the total number of addresses that have a balance on the Ergo blockchain. And this is courtesy of data provided by ErgoWatch. So we'll truncate our data a bit. So we'll do 300,000 instead. So let's run that. And so let's say you're a new Azorus analyst. You come in here, you write your SQL query, you run your data, you get your results. Then you want to plot that data into some nice, pretty visualization. You can download it as a CSV or copy it to clipboard, put it into Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, right? But we have some of that functionality built in right out the box. So if we go to create chart, we can just say Azorus product demo, say chart builder or something like that. So that'll take you into the next screen of our chart builder function. So by default, it dumps everything into a table, but that's not what we want, right? We want, we understand our data, right? And so we want a time series chart, for example. We know the time, and then we know the total number of addresses. So this should be fairly simple. With Azorus, you just click here. We know the timestamp, we know the day, and then we know the metrics as well. In this case, it's going to be total. So we do need to average it, just average or sum. It doesn't really matter, average or sum. It just needs a aggregation metric behind it. So we'll put in total as the metric name, and we'll save, and then we'll update chart. So what it does is it takes that data from the query and then it pops it into a chart. And so we know from 2020, August 24th, there were 2,400 and some change addresses with balance. And now almost a year and 5 months later, we have about 180,000 addresses with a balance on the Ergo blockchain. Thank you, ErgoWatch, for running and computing all of this data, specifically AP Chris. And so that's how you visualize it, right? But from this data set, we can also explore it a little bit more. So for example, if we want to filter out the time range and we say maybe the last 3 months, for example, we just update the chart and it should give us a different view of what that looks like. And there we have it. So that's one way to do it, right? And that is pretty, simple and straightforward, but we can also customize it because, what is data visualization if we don't customize this a little bit more? So we can add markers, right? So you know exactly where those points in the, those specific points are showing up. And then if we wanted to do logarithmic scale, don't really need it in this case, but we can also add like a y-axis. So total number of unique to BK addresses with balance. X-axis, we probably know it's already the date, but we'll just put that out there just in case, someone is confused. Oh, it looks like there's a funny thing going on here with the label. We'll fix that. If you want to show value, you could, but I don't think that provides a whole lot of extra insight, right? And then we can go back to our data, because instead of seeing instead of seeing the last 3 months, we want to see everything. So we'll just apply it here, and then we'll quickly update our chart. And there we go, right? When we have a chart, we customize a little bit. What we can also do is, if we want to save this as like a widget on your site, or if you want to share this somewhere else, you can add a data zoom function. And so that way you can provide anyone the entire history of this data, but if they want to, they can zoom in and zoom out as they please. Cool. And then we'll just change the colors and stuff like that. So all of that is readily available. Right? So this is from a data set, right? This assumes that you know how to go to the SQL editor, query the data, and then pop out a chart. But what if you don't know how to do that? What if someone in the community provides that data for you, and then you wanted to visualize it however you see fit, or however you see fit? Because sometimes people are looking at the same data set, but they come up with different visualizations, different outcomes, different insights. So what we can do is we can go to the fancy, not chart section, fancy data set section. And so we can go to the data sets, and we pick an existing data set that is available for you to see. In this case, we'll go with Spectrum Dex. So Spectrum Dex is a decentralized exchange on the Ergo network. And with the help of a community developer, his name is Error, he has allowed us to onboard all of the data from Spectrum Dex, from swaps to liquidity pools, to removing liquidity, removing your liquidity from a given pool, and all that stuff. But in this case, and maybe we'll save a future video for that one, on how to go from raw data all the way down to a dashboard. But for our purpose here, what we'll try to do is the same thing. Is we'll look at the time series chart, right? We already understood that the date, and then we can have a metric. In this case is we'll go by the price. So we'll go by the price, and then we'll save it. And because there are different tickers, right? And in this case, different pairs of the different tokens to the Ergo pair, right? We need to filter that. If we sorry, not filter that. We need to add that as a dimension. If we don't add it a dimension, then it will average out all the prices for every single day. And so we just pop that in there, and that should give us what we need to see. Cool. So in this case, it is for a given day. We can see exactly what the ratio, the exchange between how much is an Ergo pad per erg. In this case, 52, and it's increased all the way to 111. Same thing for everything else, right? But because it's fully customizable, we can add markers if we wanted to, and change the scroll type. Cool. And we have some other advanced features like analytics, annotation layers, and predictive analytics, but I will save that for a different video. So that's just one chart. There's a lot more that we have out there. So if I go back to Azorus product demo chart builder, which is the one we created earlier, right? Those are just line charts. We have pie charts, we have column charts. We also have those that automatically compute some statistics for you. So in this case, here's time series percent change. So what this means is we can compute maybe year over year what that change looks like for the number of addresses. So we go here, total. if I remember doing this correctly. Okay, cool. So now from ErgoWatch data, without doing anything fancy or anything like that, we can see. Let me see here. Did I do that right? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so set the time range so that it's accurately computing year over year data. So what this is saying is now we have ErgoWatch data. We're looking at the total number of addresses for P2PK addresses with a balance, right? And we want to compute year over year. What does that change look like? And so it looks like in December of 2021, we had a negative growth, right? It means year over year it was decreased from the previous year, and it has steadily climbed throughout 2022. And as of November of 2022, the number of addresses with the balance has increased by 116%. So great job, great job to everyone that's building on the Ergo blockchain and everything else that's going out there. And of course, this is aggregated data, doesn't always tell the full story. What you'll want to do, and we'll do in another video, is you want to parse this out to say like, okay, you don't want to look at total, you want to look at the different cuts of data of what's actually driving it. Is it is this growth coming from the whales? Is it coming from a particular cohort, right? And so that's up to the analyst to figure out and query the data, and explore what that looks like. Cool. And so with that is and that wraps up this video. And again, thank you for watching. Right, this is Azorus, the blockchain analytics and statistics. I'm sorry, blockchain analytics and intelligence platform. And in this video, we did a quick walkthrough on how to explore and visualize blockchain data and statistics. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.